The following game currently has its rating pending from the ESRB, so it doesn't technically have one. However, from what I've read from the developer, I believe they're expecting it to be a mature rated game. In fact, they do have a mature content description right here, where it is set in a fictional medieval world, and the player assumes the role of an adventurer. He engages in fights and battles and may kill enemies and possibly horses using swords, axes, and other melee and ranged weapons. There is going to be blood and ragdoll death animations. You can also purchase various alcoholic beverages in taverns, and some game text may include moderate crude language as those types of examples. So because it will most likely be mature rated, that means anyone under the age of 17 should not be watching this video. Also, this game is in early access, so the video that you are about to see is not about the full game, and the final product may not exactly match what you see in the video. You have been warned.
Greetings and salutations, I am Outlier and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is of course my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we're returning back to Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. So the premise of Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord is that you are an adventurer riding around in the land of Calradia. I believe that's how it's pronounced, or Calradia. I think that's the exact same way I pronounced it beforehand. But anyway, you're traveling around the realm of Calradia doing adventuring things, or at least initially. Eventually, if you manage to survive battle after battle and assault after assault and war after war, you can eventually become a vassal to a, one of the local kingdoms. And if you get really high up, you can eventually, I guess, either marry into the royal family or take over the royal family or just up and leave and start your own kingdom. And then conquer the whole of the land in your name, and your name only. Or at least that's how I would assume the end game is. It takes quite a while to actually get there, believe me, I know. I play a lot of this game when not filming, or I try to when I have 3 to 10 hours to spare and no other responsibilities that I deem wanting to care about. But as for regards to on filming, this game does periodically get major updates, which requires me to basically restart over from the very beginning. That hasn't been the case since last episode, so I'm fairly certain I could just pick back up right from where I left off last time. But I should point out that this game is still technically flagged as early access. What that means is that the developers continually make changes to the game, so the events that you see in this video may not fully reflect those that appear in the final product. And periodically the developers have such a large update that requires just simply a fresh restart, otherwise the game doesn't work properly. That's not the case this time, and if you haven't seen last episode, I'm still in the very beginnings of the game, trying to get what's known as Clan Tier 1, which is unlike the prior Mount & Blade games, where each noble, while he's part of a family, or if she's part of a family, they still maintain their own army, they still maintain their own fiefs, they still maintain their own stuff. However, in Bannerlord, everything is clan-based, so every lord and noble and offspring of lords and nobles and random vagabond wanderers, such as the main character, are part of what's known as a clan, which is a family unit, and fiefs and duties are shared by the clan. But I'm still not in the process of worrying about fiefs. As I said, right now my clan is still technically clan tier 0, which is basically a little bit higher than bandits. I mean, if I break a couple laws, I would be flagged as bandits, and well, we go from there. But essentially, you tell the you ask a noble about my particular character's clan, and they will wonder what you're talking about. To be fair, even late in the game, once you've amassed your own kingdom and whatnot, they still might not know. Uh, because the game is like that. But I digress, and that's right where I left it off at, and that's where I'm going to be picking it back up from. And as such, this game is, of course, made by... Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin.
For 500 years, the Calradian Empire dominated the continent. Its armies scattered foes before them. The strongholds of proud tribes crumbled beneath its engines of war. From the forests of the north to the wastes of the south, all was brought beneath the standard of their legions. Brutal as the conquest was, the wise agreed that it brought peace. The land, now untroubled by armies, grew rich, but empires, like men, grow old. Leaders lose a common cause. Corruption spreads. Old enemies learn the Empire's tricks and devise new ones of their own. Until one day, the bonds holding the Empire snap. Then comes the Civil War, pitting all against all. A time of hatred. A time of suffering. But also, even in the worst hours, a time of courage and defiance. As new leaders arise, from new places and new peoples, to turn back the tides of destruction and bring forth a new world from the ashes of the old.
Alright, so I know this is the choose a new character screen, and I know I said I wouldn't be starting over, and that's true, but they added that opening since the last time I made an episode of this game, so I figured I'd replay that and, just have it in this video, because it's a neat opening. Anyway.
Alright, so here we are back where I left it off at. Or at least I hope that's right where I left it off at. So yeah, right now it's establish your clan, and Neretz's Folly is supposed to have 1,000-day time remaining, and since it's negative, I don't know if it's just going to auto-fail as soon as I start, or it's just going to do some weird random thing. Because when I last played it, it was quietly 10 years, and now it's not quietly 10 years. Now you actually have like 1,500 days, I think, to actually complete up to a certain point, and I haven't gotten that far yet, so I'll see what happens. Anyway, I still need to get 2,000 dinars, of which I have 1,476. Well, technically, I need to establish a clan. That's the official title. And to do that, I need to get 524 more dinars. Maintain my party size of 20 people. Reach clan tier 1, which requires 50 renown, of which I need 15 more renown, and hire 1 companion, of which I have none. And after that, the game technically starts. That's not true. The game has already started. It just moves on to the next phase of the game, where instead of just hunting down piddling bandits, you're still hunting down piddling bandits, but now you have an army at your back as opposed to just a random rabble. So if I enter the smithy, I can do absolutely nothing because I have the ability to make almost nothing. In fact, my smithing stamina is at 2 because I didn't take a break between last time making something and now. But there are available orders now, so if I had enough parts to make a two-handed polearm, which, I mean, I technically do have enough parts to make this two-handed polearm, I can make it and then be awarded 415 dinars. I mean, straight up, the basic parts just exceed what this person's looking for. And I have enough charcoal, hardwood, and crude iron to do so. My character's just plain old tired, so let's wait for some time and see if that order is still there. And if not, then, well, I guess I move on. And also, I should point out that daily wages for my 20 men are 131 dinars, which is what the currency is called. And every day I have to pay that, otherwise they just simply up and leave. So now I have maxed stamina again, and the 200 axe job is still here. So let me just forge this real quick. I mean, the client's displeased. Everything matches. Oh yeah, that's right. My smithing skill isn't as high as the difficulty. I forgot about that. Given how much stuff I actually smith, you would think I would remember that, but no. No, I did not. So basically, you can still make things if your smithing skill isn't as high as the difficulty rating. It's just the greater the difference between your skill and the difficulty, the less stats you have. And since a lot of the stuff was just at the borderline with the default pieces, they went below, and the client is displeased. So rather than getting 415 dinars, I make 175. So basically I made back the day's wages, just with 1 axe. I can also make a 200 polearm, but the difficulty rating is 50, my smithing skill is 18, and the handling is too low. Also, it needs to have thrust damage. I mean, this one would work, except again, the difficulty to make this particular weapon is 50, my smithing skill is 18, and it's again just borderline stats, and I can mess with various attributes of the weapon and the various parts, but which all affect its stats. But as you can see, things go red as I increase them as they go over or under, and shrinking the size of the pole of the polearm lessens its weapon's reach, which means it's not as long as it needs to be, and all that fun stuff. You know what, maybe I can make a couple dinars off of it. Let's make it anyway. And unlike last time, I didn't actually lose anything in terms of stats, so it all exceeds the what the client wants, so I made the entire 110 dinar amount. And my smithing skill, I guess, goes up to 19, so always fun, always fun. There's also free build, where I can just build random stuff. Of course, that would be if I had the parts, and I don't have the parts to make this 200 sword. Also, I'm running low on charcoal. Anyway, I see this 12 band of looters around, so I'm going to chase them down. So looters say that we're just harmless travelers, and my responses are, I think not, brigands, surrender or die, or never mind, you can go. Since I'm actively hunting looters because I need renown and their stuff to, well, make dinars, I'm not leaving them alone, and they say you'll never take us alive. And because this group of 5 looters is close by, they join in the battle, so instead of it being 20 versus 12, it's 20 versus 17. But you know what? I'm fine with that. My main goal right now in life right now is to hunt down bandits, and the more bandits I fight per battle, the less battles I actually have to fight. So we're going to attack. Because it defaults to third-person mode, I'm switching to first-person because that's how I generally like playing this game. Attack! And I'm just going to have everybody charge. Because I got practically no armor, and it's suicide to have one guy on a horse charge 17 people. Still, I have a bow, so I don't technically need to directly charge into them. I can do this. And actually manage to hit somebody, which I find surprising. Because, especially considering the last 2 shots missed. And these bandits, well, these looters, I should say, have decided to up and run because they realize that their 17 men, poorly equipped 17 men, I should point out, are no match for my comparatively higher, better equipped 20 men. And now I just basically run around and stab them in the back of the head because they're bandits. I try to shoot them with the bow and just simply straight up miss because, again, it's the very beginning of the game and it's been a while since I've actually had this low level of equipment, so it takes some getting used to the fact that I'm just not slicing clean through people in one swing. Also on a horse that can barely outpace the infantry on foot. So one guy I think is still left. I'm guessing he's going to be able to flee because a lot of my guys are just standing around. Although he's still on the bar, which means he's still on the field. But if he ran in the opposite direction, that means in order to chase him down, I have to cross the entire field, and he's now gone. We won! So we won the battle. Oh, 2 people actually fled. Okay. Victory! Claim 2 looters as prisoners. And all of their stuff. And there's now 2 separate groups of one bandit apiece, and they're going to be a pain in the butt to chase down, so I'm just going to ignore them and head back to Calradia to basically sell their stuff and ransom off the prisoners that I have because they're worth money. Not much money, but still money. Anyway. Also, I can upgrade quite a few people. In fact, with the exclusion of 1 trained archer, I can actually upgrade everybody. But I'm not going to because the higher tiered units generally cost more. And at this point in the game, I'm trying to save money, not spend it. So let's actually just trade all of their... go to the trader and sell off all of their clothing and armor that I happen to pick up. I won't actually sell off any weapons that I pick up, because I can go to the smithy and take them apart for resources. Why is this pitchfork being blocked? Weird. Anyway. Alright, I think I may have actually been selling some stuff. And I'm actually out of charcoal, which means I can't actually make anything except more charcoal. There's another reason why I constantly want to take apart weapons. Especially ones that are made completely out of hardwood. Allows me to basically get more hardwood to make more charcoal. That way I don't have to end up buying as much resources. But if I look at the clan party screen, I now have 37 renown, which means I need 13 more. So that one battle got me 2. I'm also at 1,892 denars. Now less than that. Okay. Also, the character screen has a thing. So apparently I went up a level at some point, and writing's now at 25, which means I get to select a perk. So I can increase the charge damage by 20%, and mounted troops in my formation gain an extra 10% charge damage. Or maneuvering is increased by 10, and mounted troops in your formation gain 30 plus riding skill. Since I generally prefer more maneuvering as opposed to charge damage, I generally go with nimble steeds, so I'll go with that one. As for the attribute points, I very rarely get those, and I like keeping everything balanced, so... I mean, everything's at 3 anyway. Although Steward and Medicine are... Well, the Steward skill's incredibly important for building large armies, as well as... well, technically, I would say Medicine to keep them alive. And whereas riding, athletics, and all the weapon skills are important to hand-to-hand combat, smithing I consider incredibly important, just simply because, well, to be fair, that's a lot of my character's, my party's money comes from just making stuff and selling it. I mean, if you find the right thing to make, you can basically get it so that way money isn't technically a worry, but finding that sweet spot's sometimes difficult, given the fact that unlocking new parts is completely random. I mean, let's be honest, every one of these skills is important in some way. It's just some are more important than others, and depending upon how you want to play, that's how you want to build your character, as it were. I mean, as far as I know, there's no maximum level cap, it's just things take a lot of time to actually build. I mean, trade skill is one of my slowest building skills, just simply because, at least for now, the only way to get it up is to buy goods, sell them somewhere else for a profit. And if you sell them for a loss, you don't get trade experience. If you get stuff illicitly, as in burning down a village and then looting its corpse, or hitting a bunch of looters and getting their stuff and selling their armor and weapons and other goods, that doesn't count either, which, you know, I'm kind of displeased with, but, you know, I didn't make the game, and as far as I know, I don't actually get much say in how it's run. So as for where do I want to put my perk points? I mean, I do want to put more in smithing, but two-handed doesn't have any focus points in it yet, and the focus points determine the learning rates, which is how quickly the skill increases. And once I've gained the ability to basically build my own weapons to my liking and turn my character into a finely tuned avatar of death, I generally wield a 200 weapon while mounted. So 200 weapon skill is important to me, as is technically one-handed for sieges, pole arms for, well, skewering things with a lance, and then bow for mounted archery, and then crossbow for siege warfare. Throwing is probably my least used skill in terms of combat, but I still try to keep it on par with all the others. Generally the same with athletics and riding. A lot of field battles and the like, riding is usually the main skill, whereas things like thieves' dens and sieges, I'm usually on foot, and that's how athletics get up. And then scouting and tactics just simply increase naturally as you roam about the map and fight battles. Leadership is a little bit harder to get up, but I guess important in terms of like commanding armies and larger battles and groups. As for the, you know what, actually let's put it in intelligence. Because again, stewards probably in terms of building your own party, at least mid to early on, steward is probably one of the more important skills, which is why I probably should have put the focus point in that, but I'm only level 4, and I'll probably get more focus points sooner rather than later. Plus, at clan tier 0, I don't even think that steward actually increases. I think it only starts increasing once you hit clan tier 1. Now we wait for some time for the smithing skill to regrow, and I stop because there's 10 looters right out there, and I can't leave that many looters wandering about. I mean, I can leave that many looters wandering about. I mean, there's 13 right there. I just don't want to. At 2-to-1 odds, even at night, you're about to get mauled. So, everybody charge! Plus, it's how you build renown. You know, the glorious 1,000-man army battles will occur later in game, but for now, you basically have to fight people who failed their peasant test. And if I could actually hit somebody with the bow and arrow... Get back here. I wish to kill you. Where's my horse's head? There we go. And I missed, because I don't remember the range of this weapon. Right. Anyway. Now he's dead. Finally. As two guys literally run past my character.
Yeah! Yeah!
You know, if I manage to have the horse... If I remember to slow the horse down so that way they're pacing the looters... I wouldn't have to stop and then run and then turn around. Of course, he's at the edge of the map now, so that other guy probably got away. Yeah, the one guy got away. Anyway. Oh, and occasionally, looters and other parties that you fight take their own prisoners. So here's 3 Empire peasants that I could pick up if I had party space, but I don't. I only have a party limit of 21. And I need the 1 remaining slot for the companion in order to get to Clan Tier 1. So the 3 peasants get to wander about free. And even peasants have their own upgrade tree. They basically become the base recruits and then follow the standard upgrade tree from there. Alright, so looters once again say you got a problem, and it's not if you give up now, prepare to fight, you'll never take us alive. Standard
Charge!
bandits conversation. And as usual, the standard tactics for fighting small groups of bandits are everybody just simply charge and kill as many of them as you can before they turn to flee. And hope that you don't charge up in front of everybody and manage to get your butt kicked before the rest of your army arrives. I actually managed to knock somebody out there. Interesting. Bandits have incredibly low morale because, well, they're bandits. So you kill off a good portion of them relatively quickly, and half of them will just simply up and run away. Because they know that they're outmatched, and they don't want to die. Who can blame them for that? But they're still bandits, which means every bandit I leave alive is another bandit to sack and pillage random peasants. And I can't have that, so basically chase them down and stab them in the back of the head. Not exactly honorable, I know, but there's no honor in war. I mean, there is, just afterwards, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking. I'm just rambling right now because I'm just basically hunting bandits. As that arrow goes wide. That one does not, but then again, I was like 3 feet behind him. And one more bandit gets away. And that's everybody. Okay. I gain 1.3 more renown and 1.2 morale. And they also have peasants that are now free, but again, no room. But I do get 1 thing of cheese and a thing of meat and some grapes and a whole bunch of stuff. So there's that. Then I hunt these 8 these 8 looters.
Give them hell! Go!
for the same effect. Oh, and I gained another level. Of course, the horse gained some cut damage. Get back here, I wish to stab you. Alright, so that didn't kill him.
Yeah!
Oh, he's down. Getting a 20 point skill point in bonus, now 20. Game point 8 renown. And 2 more prisoners. And more stuff. On the plus side, I now have over 2,000 dinars. So if I can get back to the nearest town before the next day's wages are due, I mean technically, I'd actually have more than enough to cover the next day's wages. But I've hit the 2,000 dinar mark, so I'm good there. I just need 1 companion and 10 more points of renown. And if we fight these 10 looters, you see I have another focus point now available, and I'm going to stick that in steward. So when it does start increasing, it starts increasing faster. And it's the major limit to how large my party gets. So the higher than my steward ability, the more people I can have. And the more people I can have, the bigger battles I can take part in. And the bigger battles I can take part in, the greater the renown, and the greater the loot, and the greater the coin I can get if I win. As I get hit with a rock in the leg, and I swing past a whole bunch of monsters, and I take even more damage, as most of them are fighting me, not my army.
Whoa!
Again, another point in one-handed skill. It's now actually now at 50, which means I should technically be able to get another perk for that skill. And I shoot him, I think, in the butt. But that's all of them. I gain 1 more renown, which means 9 more to go. 1 more prisoner. And a whole bunch more loot. So if we head back to... Actually, I think we're close to Poros. So let's actually head to Poros. So let's ransom off the prisoners. And there actually is a companion here. Hatheros the Butcher. Okay. Let me deal with the trade menu first. Just sell off all the armor that I picked up, if you can argue that stuff is actually armor. And I have a cracked hunting bow, so I did not mean to actually exit that out just yet. Do they have a better bow? I mean, they do have steppy bows for 283 dinars. I mean, I got plenty of dinars and I can wield it. Slightly less accuracy, which is saying something. Although it is faster, does a bit more damage, and has faster missile speeds. Can also start. I can also get a light crossbow, which I can technically wield from horseback. But it's 4 times as expensive. So let's actually swap out. Let's actually buy a better bow and some decent arrows. Although I would say that would put me below the. You go there. You go there. You go here. I said you go here. For some reason, the arrows that I put swapped out for the bow. I don't like that. But it does that. Oh well. Anyway, so spend 415 dinars to basically upgrade my bow. And unlike smithing, where I can just, well, unlike melee weapons where I can just smith better ones, I can't build better bows. Right, so my options for the level 50 of one-handed are Swift Strike, where 2% swing speed with one-handed weapons, I'm guessing 2 extra swing speed with two-handed weapons, and governed settlements have increased militia recruitment by 0.5 per day, or To Be Blunt, where increase your damage with axes and maces by 5%, and governed settlements gain 0.5 security per day. I'm not actually at the point where I have governed settlements, so the whole militia recruitment and security aren't as important right now. But I should probably factor them to account, because I will eventually, hopefully, maybe, possibly, end up with fiefs and governed settlements. But I much prefer to use axes and maces as opposed to swords, so I'm going to go with To Be Blunt. And there we go. Alright, so now we're actually technically at the border between the Western Empire and the Southern Empire and the Western Empire. You can tell the difference based off of the colors of the banners, technically the sigils. So Poros is governed by the Leon Paredes clan, which include Pharon, Zeno, and a whole bunch of other people. And they are part of the Southern Empire, which is commanded by Regea, I believe her name is pronounced. Yeah, Regea, right here. Just briefly reading his bio. Whereas by contrast, Onika Castle is commanded by the clan of Commons, which is led by Garios, who is actually the emperor of the Western Empire. So that castle is actually owned and commanded by the emperor's own clan. And the empire is currently in civil war, the Calradic Empire, that is, and it's split into 3 parts. The Southern Empire, led by Regea, the Western Empire, led by Garios, and the Northern Empire, led by Lucan, I believe. Yeah, that's him right there. Now, a lot of times, Lucan actually, in my non-filmed playthrough, at least my most recent one, Lucan actually died early on of natural causes. Yeah, which is a thing that happens when you have the ability to basically marry and have kids, and people grow old and they die of old age. Garios died in a fight, and then, yeah, so they can die of old age, and I think actually, I want to say pretty much every playthrough that I've played to any significant amount, Lucan usually dies of old age. I don't think he very rarely dies in battle, because he's also one of the first ones to go, of the 3. In my non-filmed playthrough, Garios died, well actually my filmed playthrough. I'm actually far enough ahead where all 3 of the original emperors are passed away. Lucan, as I said, died of natural causes. Garros was Garros died in battle that I was in a battle that I was in. We were fighting him. I was, I believe, a mercenary of the Southern Army. My party met his party in open combat, and he died because of it. I didn't land the killing blow. I often don't, but one of my guys killed him. And then Regea, while still under her employ, I was part of her army when we sieged the castle, and she died in that fight. We took the castle, but she didn't make it. And then emperors and empresses get replaced by their next of kin. And the wars continue. Oh wow. This is the first time I've actually been in a melee combat with bandits, and they actually turned and run before I had to flee to a ranged weapon because I was losing too much health. I say that as having lost over half of my character's health. But they're all gone, and I gained 0.8 renown. And 2 more prisoners. And a couple more things. Alright, so now I need to gain 8 more renown. It's very difficult to get renown up in the very beginnings of the game. Because again, you basically have to fight, you basically have to chase down looters and, well, kill them. And looters are usually small. They're basically the bottom feeders that the bottom feeders feed upon.
Kill them all! Yeah!
Now, I guess I can technically take part in banditry myself, basically assault villages, waylay caravans, all that fun stuff, and I guess that's a way to increase, at the very least, wealth. I'm not so certain about renown, but that can piss off the nobles, and when you only have 20 to 21 men to your name as part of your army, you don't want to piss off the guys that can call upon a couple hundred. As I receive even more damage, lowering my character's current health. I think I have it set where my character can't actually die in battle, much like the unlike the AI nobles, but I may have set up this game before that was actually an option, so I probably should be taking more care than I actually am.
No quarter for the craven!
And I gain 0.7 renown. We'll get there eventually. No prisoners because we murdered everyone. Alright, let's go somewhere else. Let's actually go to Vostrum, just simply because I haven't been there yet this playthrough, as far as I know. I just realized I could have talked to that one companion in Poros, but I forgot. Now, when you take somebody prisoner, you can actually convince them to join your party, and they become a part of your army. However, as I said, my army is at maximum, and unlike in past games where they have a definitive upgrade tree, a lot of times the the looters and the other bandit class enemies, couldn't think of what I wanted to say, well, they do have their own slight upgrade tree. They do eventually just simply upgrade to normal units. However, in order to do that, I need a special perk and a skill I almost never get up. So, they're, at least for right now, probably more trouble than they're actually worth. So that's why I don't recruit bandit units.
Attack!
Also, there is the whole moral obligation thing. And I'm not fighting looters this time. I'm fighting mountain bandits, which means they have better equipment and arguably fewer numbers, but better equipment than your standard looters. So rather than just charging off ahead by my lonesome, I'm going to hang behind my army. And as the mountain bandits show up, then I charge. And I miss. As you see, that guy had a shield as well as a longbow, and looks like some throwing javelins. I think an actual sword as well. As opposed to the looters, which basically have sticks and stones and, well, probably even broken bones to wield as weapons. That's not true. They have hammers and pitchforks and the like. Anyway, Volstrom. Oh, and I gain a point in medicine, so it's now at 9. Medicine goes up as you treat the injured. And I actually gained 2 points in Steward, so it's now 13. That's interesting. I thought it didn't go up until after I hit Clan Tier 1. So go to Tavern District, ransom the prisoners, and I have... There is Emirates the Robber, Hereritos the Butcher, and Harangan Iron Eye. Now, if I really want to check, I can go to the encyclopedia, back all the way out and select heroes, and I can basically filter all, well, this is the name of all the heroes, so any person that could be a companion, my character, any noble that's out there, this is all in their list, and it's a very long list because there's a lot of them, because we're dealing with an entire continent's worth of nobility and, well, just above average people. And I can also filter between the dead ones, of which there's actually more so than I would have thought. Although Terra of the Liar is the character's mother, I believe, and then Valdemos is the father. And they're there because the character said so. Well, the game has them there. But, you know, Clinging of the Aracrete, I did not really, well, a lot of these others, I did not realize they were dead. But I can filter between the dead ones and the alive ones, also male and female. Their various cultures, although I'm not certain if there are any Darcy ones left, and whether or not they're a noble, specifically a faction leader, or a wanderer. So when I select wanderer, these are all the eligible ones for being a companion. And I can select them, and if I've met them before, it tells me where they were last seen, and also gives me their base skills. So if I ever track down Brun the Brave, he has a higher skill in leadership, tactics, polearms, one-handed, riding, athletics, and two-handed. So he's more of a soldier type person, possibly even a battlefield commander. Whereas I go with, say, Haranos the Butcher, he's more of a bandit type, so he has skills in roguery, athletics, throwing, and one-handed. And if I look at how many women there are as possible being companions, there are 7 of them. One of them is a healer, so I might want to track her down just simply because she can serve as the clan's surgeon. I don't see any Wainwrights or tradeswomen here, just the wronged ones, which are, I guess, standard combat soldier types. The black, I think, are more rogue based, although not seeing any rogue skills for Tamara the Black. And then huntresses are scouts. And the Wanderer is more like the other character that I looked at. So Barisha the Wanderer has skills in leadership, tactics, and scouting, so she could actually be somewhat decent as a party leader. And the Robber is also another type of bandit class. So there is one the knowing here, which means he has engineering skill. I should probably keep an eye out for him. Silence, just another military commander. The prince is a rogue. Yeah. So some of them have actual useful skills as opposed to just standard combat skills, and a lot of the times those are the ones you want to look out for. So like Crota the Surgeon can also take the place of the clan medic, or party medic I should say. And you do have clan jobs that you can assign people from the clan menu. So if you go to parties and select your party, I mean, I'm not at clan tier 1 yet, so there aren't actually other jobs here, but there are other roles, and I can select between scout, engineer, quartermaster, or surgeon. If no one is assigned to that role, that means that your character's skills get used in place of somebody else's. But if I had a companion that had a higher scouting skill than my characters, I could select them as a scout, and the game would factor in their scouting skill as opposed to the characters for things like seeing things on the world map and the like. Same with quartermaster, engineer, and surgeon, which would use, well, for engineer it's the engineering skill, quartermaster is steward skill, and surgeon is medicine. So if I had companions for those skills, then their skills would be used for like party healing and building siege weapons and determining how large your party is. But if you keep it so that way you're the one doing all of that, your skills passively increase. So unless it's like late in the game and you need basically a better surgeon because you're about to lay siege to a castle filled with 1,000 men, a lot of times I prefer to have just the character do it. But if we visit each of these people, let's actually go with Harangan Iron Eye first. So apparently I already talked to him because he says, Otis, it's been a while. So then what is it? I can use someone in your party. And just so you know, I'm not cheap. I want 3,849 dinars as an advance or there's no deal. And I definitely cannot afford that. So if we visit the actual physical tavern, I mean, I can basically talk to the other two companions from the party menu. And there's the ransom broker where, I can, rather than just using the menu to ransom off people or prisoners that I collect, I can just talk to them directly. And here's Emerus the Robber. So right, who might you be then? My name is Otisir. Tell me about yourself. Oh, I suppose I can tell you. Nothing that no one doesn't already know. Not how. Me and some lads from my village, we thought we'd run away, join some other lads up there who make their living on the highways, if you know what I mean. Didn't much want to go scratching a plow across the dry fields every year like my father did. But I was young and foolish. Bandits, well, who'd have thought? They're real animals, always drunk and stabbing each other, or too drunk to feel cold, so they catch the plague and end up coughing up blood, or drunk and asleep when the patrol comes around, so they end up on the gallows. I suspected you get the idea. So that was no kind of life neither. I left the woods, paid a little money to friends who got my name off the outlaw list, and am now a regular law-abiding citizen. Officially, that is. And I can choose between a wise decision, basically agreeing with him, or a knave who could not abide another man's knavery, so may such wonders never cease, where I guess I piss him off. Since I'm actively looking for companions, let's go with a wise decision. Life's better here in the city, more civilized, you could say. The work can be a bit rough and tumble, but I feel I can relax after a long day with more refined company, like your good self. You could say perhaps I'm between jobs right now, so if by chance you're looking to hire, well, I'm open to discussion. Could use someone like you in my company, or I must leave now. So there's a young woman around here. I really need to leave her some money before I go anywhere. Let's say 472 dinars. Can you pay that? I probably can, but let's just see what the other guy says. So, standard talking, and then just random NPC that just talks about random news. Like how the Outlier have been raiding across the border. People around here better wake up. My apologies, may I help you with something? If there are eventually options, they're not in the game yet. Now the third possible companion is around here somewhere. I just don't know where, so I'm just going to leave and talk to and visit Haranos the Butcher through the menu. So, God, wine here tastes like yeah, right, so who are you? My name is Otisir. Tell me about yourself. You're a nosy one, I see. What do you want to know about? My family? Relieve yourself on them. I left home as a child and never had cause to regret it. My brothers can take my inheritance, and I hope they choke on it. I fought in a few wars for one side or the other. You want to know about my comrade in arms? Relieve yourself on them too. They all turn on you in the end. About my past, that's all I have to say. And then I can say, so what are you good at, or a cheerful one? Good day to you. I can fight, and I don't mind doing work that others would shirk. If you have work for me, we could discuss it. And he wants even more coins, so just so you know, I'm not cheap. I want 619 dinars as an advance, or there's no deal. Can't afford that right now. I'll be leaving. Alright, he seems like a nice gentleman. Let's go talk with the other robber. Also, you can also pick up mercenary troops right here. They're not NPCs like the companions are, but they're a way to get extra troops that are usually more advanced or better skilled than, say, the normal peasants that you recruit through the normal methods. But they're generally more expensive to keep and maintain. And I have no idea where the robber went, so let's find Emerus the robber this way. Since I just need a companion, you're hired. So now that I have a companion, I am now below 2,000 dinars. Wrong menu. If I go to the party menu, move him up here because I like having my companions at the top of the list. Because in past games, it couldn't fit the games weren't advanced to fit the entire army on the battlefield all at once. So it basically pulled from the top of the list and then worked its way down. So if you want your best troops on the field first, you had to have them at the top of the list, and that's just a habit I keep up with. And I barely have an entire army of 23 men now. That's what happens when you get steward up. But if I look at inventory, I can actually equip him with extra equipment, better weapons, better armor, all that fun stuff. And much like my character, any NPC companions also have their own leveling schemes, and you can select their skill perks as well. So they're basically like the character, just NPC controlled. Alright, and I should probably be leaving just because I need a means of getting up renown faster. Because I would prefer not to play this, I would prefer not to play this for a couple hours, and I would also prefer to end this having gotten clan tier 1. But I don't think that's going to happen. Because it's practically an hour now, and I still have, I think...
Charge!
like 8 or so renown points I gotta get up. Plus, I still need to hit the 2,000 dinar mark. Wow, I just basically stabbed somebody. I mean, the mount received 14 blunt damage. But I almost killed somebody straight out of the way. So I'm fairly certain I've said this before, but a lot of times, not a lot of times, damage is calculated not so much by your skills and weapons, but also how fast you travel. So if you're charging at speed against somebody charging at you, the difference in the speeds is also factored into how much damage you do. Also, if they're running away, you do less damage. Whereas if you're charging, you do more. Alright, so where's the last guy? I have no idea. He's probably just going to up and leave anyway. Alright, so I gained 0.6 renown for that. Gained 1 prisoner. And a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I need 6 more points of renown. I think we're both. I was going to say we're both trying to chase down two different parties are trying to chase down the same group of bandits, but we aren't.
Charge! Whoa!
So everybody charge. I was really hoping that while he was caught on my horse, I could kill him, but you know, that works just as well. As does that. I would say and that, but he didn't die. Where did he go? There you are. And that's all of them. I gained 0.7 renown. I need 5 more renown points. I'll say, there's also, in addition to the clans that serve the actual kings and queens and emperors and empresses and sultans and khanates, there are also minor clans like the Jarwal here, of which Kusur is a member, and they have their own backstories and reasons for being in Calradia. But the main benefit to the minor clans is that you can purchase their services and they serve your kingdom as mercenaries. Also, they often don't exactly mesh well with certain kingdoms, so they're often flagged kind of at war with certain kingdoms. And plus that, I'm now back to over 200,000 denars, so I just basically need 5 more points in renown and I should be good. The problem is getting those 5 points in renown. Because as clan tier 0, I don't even think it can actually work for an actual noble. And there was a 20... Yeah, so there's like 20 group of 20 bandits right here. So let's attack these guys, even though we're practically at equal numbers. And my character is injured. I'm just going to break out my bow. The non-cracked bow, I believe. With non-splintered arrows. And still missed by quite a large margin.
For glory!
Because arrows have a ballistic arc in this, which I sometimes forget. Anyway, the infantry has met them in the field of battle. And now we shoot people in the back of the head. We try to shoot people in the back of the head. Alright, that takes too much effort. Let's just stab them with the sharpened metal stick. Anybody else? Oh, there's one guy left. Okay.
Go!
Just have the horse walk on him. And then we whack him in the back of the head. Much like anybody else who sees. Right, and since there's 20 bandits there, we actually gain 2 points of renown. As opposed to the standard 0.5. So the larger groups of bandits are better. But, yeah, I still need 3 more points of renown. Go after these forest bandits because they're upgraded. As I chase them all the way across the map. And they're joined by 4 mountain bandits. Okay, I can work
Give
with
him
that.
hell!
Everybody charge anyway.
Yeah!
Alright, and forest bandits, much like mountain bandits, are more upgraded than looters, so again, they have better gear, better armor, actual ranged weapons. I think forest bandits are predominantly archers, whereas mountain bandits are more throwing weapon specialists. Whereas the looters are, as you've seen so far, are basically half-naked peasants. As you can see, these forest bandits have actual bows. But they still flee relatively quickly once you kill off half of them.
Yeah!
And I have no idea where the others are. I'm guessing they're off in this direction, because some of my guys are still charging off that way. But they're probably too far away. Yeah, so let's just end it. Yeah. 2 people ran away. I gained 1.8 renown. That's always fun. Gained 200 extra gold. If we head off this way, I did see 14 looters off in this direction. Don't know if they're still there. I would say probably not, but they're right there. There's also 12 bandits over here as well. So if we can just chase these guys down. There's a random bandit hideout there. Yeah, I need 1 point in renown. Just a single point.
Attack! Go!
As I stupidly run halfway straight into them, but I managed to kill off 2 before everybody kills off enough, so that way they just simply up and down. And then just start swinging in their massive pile of runaways. Did I say thrust? No. I wanted a chopping attack.
Yeah! Whoa!
As a lot of them get away. But we still gain 1.4 points of renown, which means we gain more than what we need to get the clan tier 1. Which means Clan Liar is now clan tier 1, and we've established our clan. We also plundered 169 units of gold, as well as more stuff. Right, so now if we head back to Lacarion, which will probably be the long way around because there's a river in the way, something interesting should happen. I mean, I don't technically need to go to Lacarion. I could technically go to any town for this to happen. But I like Lacarion. It's centrally located to, well, a whole bunch of stuff. Right, and I show up in Lacarion, and guess who's here? Radagos, the guy who originally attacked the inn that our family was staying at, butchered our parents, and kidnapped our younger siblings. So he goes, "Otis, good to see you. Believe it or not, I mean that. I've been looking for you." And then my response is, "You escaped? Where's my brother? What happened?" Calm down now, I'll tell you everything. We found your little brother and sister, but my former partner, Galter, betrayed me. We came into his camp to negotiate the kid's release, and he seized us right then and there. What scum, eh? Even in this profession, double-crossing your comrades is frowned upon. I escaped. One of his men, a little guiltier than the rest, cut my bonds when the others were sleeping, but I can't let the traitor live. So I decided to find you and offer you a deal. I know where Galter is now. If you agree, we can attack together and save your kin. But in return, I want to have the pleasure of killing that bastard. What do you say? How can we possibly trust each other? Oh, you can't trust me, but you need me, and I figure you have enough men that you could easily slit my throat pretty quickly if I lead you into a trap. And I don't need to trust you. You're my vehicle of revenge, not my partner. I can live with that. Let's go. Splendid. Whatever things to do. There is a hideout near the city. Galters are keeping your siblings there. We'll join you right where the path leads up, just out of sight of their scouts. See you there then, but remember, if this is a trap or something, that will cost you your life. Oh, of course, I have no doubt on that score. So, we finally get the ability to save our family. But that requires, well, quite a bit. Let's just sell off that just to make more extra cash. And now that I'm clan tier 1, I can get 3 more companions in addition to Emerus the Robber. So I can have up to 4 companions. Also, if I look at party, my maximum party is now at 49 people. So I can now have a smaller, somewhat small army. And in addition to that, I can also upgrade people. Which I'm going to need because, well, I mean, I'm assaulting a bandit encampment. I'm going to need as many high-end people as I can. But my party wages have increased, but as I gain more people and upgrade them, that will increase. But now that I'm at clan tier 1, I can start taking on the role of mercenary, which means I actually fight for one of the kingdoms, but not as a vassal. But you know, they basically pay part of the wages for any battle that I fight, and it allows me to join their armies and fight bigger battles with better troops, and gain more renown and better loot, and eventually I can proceed on to the next tier. Let me just ransom off the 2 people I have. So to save the character's family, I have to go here, where some mountain bandits are located, and if I manage to take that, I can free the character's brother, as well as the 2 younger siblings, as well as take out the guy who basically kidnapped them all. Not counting Radagos, his partner, Galter. But all of that is going to have to wait until next time, because I'm going to call it here.
Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.